here it is, ladies. Today's one color wonder. And I did the inside in the envelope. Join me in the craft room and I'll show you how. This week I got the You're Inspiring stamp set along with Flirty Flamingo. I'm going to be using these daffodils from the set. I have a piece of Whisper White that is 3 inches by 3 3/4. A piece of Flirty Flamingo that's 3 1/4 by 4. 2 pieces of Whisper White that measure 4 by 5 1/4. One is for the inside. My card base is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. I have my envelope. I'm going to use the Tufted embossing folder. I have some Memento black ink, my Flirty Flamingo ink, my blender pen, and some Rhinestones. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up my stamp with my Memento. And I apologize for the shaking. I'm still working on it. It just means I'm heavy-handed. All right, now I'm going to turn this sideways because I do better if I stamp seeing it sideways. But when you stamp, if you like to, see it, you do better this way, go for it. But with a big thing like this, I like to go sideways. So I have stamped that. And now I'm going to take some of my Flirty Flamingo ink and squeeze it in the lid of my stamp pad, and I'm going to do some coloring. I'm going to keep the center of this really dark, and I'm going around the center and down and pulling down to color it. All right, and I'm going to do this all the way around on both of them. All right, now that I've got the center colored, oops, I want this one to be dark too. All right, now that I've got the center colored, I want my outside leaves to be lighter, so I'm going to come out here and I'm going to really pull it out, and it will make it a lot lighter. Still the same color, but lighter, just because you've got to get some interest in there. And some different shades of the same color. There we go. And I need to find a scrap of paper over here to scribble and clean my blender pen. I'm going to leave the leaves and all alone. I'm not going to do them at all. But then I'm going to take my Wink of Stella and I'm going to add some sparkle to the flowers so they kind of shimmer. All right. Okay, oops. Always scribble off. Sometimes if you pick up color, it'll ruin your blender pen. I mean your Wink of Stella. All right, now I'm going to put this on top of here. I'm going to wave it so to make sure that Wink of Stella is good and dry. Okay. Oops. Not that it matters, but it just might make it a little bit easier to see. All right, so there's the panel done. Now I'm going to take my one piece of the Whisper White and the Tufted embossing folder, and this is one of the I don't know, the dynamic ones. And this one also has a line down here at the bottom. And what you can do with that line, I'll open it up a little bit, is line your cardstock up on that line and then close it up. And when you emboss it, you get straight embossing. So that's a little hint for you. All right, there it is, all embossed. Now this is embossed, so when I go to put it on my card base, I'm going to take and use some tear-in tape because the surface area is not the same as if it's flat, and so if you miss a spot, if you use snail or whatever, missing a spot, it's not gonna hold as well. So I always use the tear-in tape on my embossing so that I know that it's going to stay stuck down. While I'm finishing up here, I thought I'd let you know they started working on the foundation. It is Doug. I have to decide if I'm going to have floor outlets. I did in the other house, but I knew what I was going to do there, so I'm working on my floor plan to see where I want my floor outlets. We'll see what I end up with. I may end up with none because of the way I do the floor plan. It's just going to depend. So we'll see. But I'm going in tomorrow to meet with the builder and the interior decorator to make some decisions on it. They sent me some pattern pieces and I've been playing with different placements, and I need to think outside the box. So I need a little help. So I'll go meet with the interior decorator and get it straight. Okay, this I'm going to put on with Dimensionals. This would be a good time to use some fun foam on the back because it is a larger piece. But I need to pick up some more because I'm getting low. So I'm just gonna do this. And now I've got to take off all my backs. And this is the fun part. So anyway, we're moving right along on the house. I went to closing on Monday, and it was interesting because I had to sign another paper saying I hadn't gotten a loan credit from RentGo. I've never heard of that. I have no clue what it is. So I don't know if it was the apartment when I applied to live in the apartment or what. All right, now I have some rhinestone, I can't talk, rhinestones. And I think I'm gonna put it where those dots are in the center. That's a lot, but if you look at this thing, I have a ton of these. So I'm gonna cut them apart. These are the strips. And I cut mine apart and use them individually. I do use sometimes small strips for dragonflies, butterflies. So I cut them apart then. But for this, I'm gonna put these down on here and just bling it up. Sometimes if it's really plain, so to speak, not that this is plain, but it moved on me. You need to add just a bunch of bling. I have to tell you, yesterday, actually it was Sunday, it wasn't yesterday. I'd gotten back from the weekend, and I was sitting there in the chair, just relaxing, watching the football, no, watching the race. I hadn't started watching football yet. And all of a sudden, there was like running back and forth up above me in the apartment above me, along with jumping up and down. I don't know if the kids were playing some kind of Wii game or whatever, but it's unbelievable. And now they're up there banging and beating. It's like, good grief. I don't know who lives above me, but I'm not used to that. Poor Bijou, she keeps barking. She's going, Mom, Mom, do you hear that? Do you hear that? And I keep having to say, yes, I hear it. It's okay. It's okay. Gotta cut some more rhinestones. These are the older ones. The new ones don't have the strips on them. They did away with them, which I would have liked to have had some strips for when we do our, like you said, your dragonflies, your butterflies, but none of them. So you got to put them on individually. Oh, there we go. Oh, much better. And I'm not going to add anything on the leaves. You could always add some Wink of Stella if you wanted it more sparkly, but I want those daffodils to be the center of attention. All right, it's time to see what we're going to do next week. And I'm looking out my window, and I know I have two here. Yeah, I can feel a two. Separate them. Okay, so we're going to do falling flowers. And what color? I'm watching this. I think there's no, it's somebody's roof that's got blue tarp on it. Oh, I dropped one. Oh, and Cajun Craze. That is my least favorite color. All right. I hope I've inspired you today. If you liked my video, give me a thumbs up. Feel free to share it. Take some time to be creative. I hope you'll join me next week when I do Falling Flowers with Cajun Craze. Have a great day.